I know those of you who watch both series don't need this announcement because you had it yesterday, but for those of you who only watched this one and have A, been wondering where Holme has been for the last couple of days, and B, wondering why it's now out at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, we're on the reduced schedule for 2 weeks. We're just doing one Football Manager video a day for a couple of weeks because of VidCon, because of half term, because of not having time to do any more than that. So it's going to rotate between Non-League to Legend and Holme each day. Today is Holme. Holme will be back again on Thursday, and then it'll just rotate between each one. 4 p.m. on weekdays, 11 a.m. at weekends for the next couple of weeks, and then on Monday the 25th of February we'll return to the normal schedule. Apologies if you're watching this in like 3 years in the future and it just came straight after the last one, which is great. Hello and welcome to part 51 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a league game against Salford and an FA Trophy game against Hednesford. Since you were last with me, I feel like we've turned our form around a little bit. Actually, looking at this, we've got 2 league defeats, which we didn't get in the whole of January. So, I don't know. I got Manager of the Month in January, which was very pleasant. And then I guess we're winning more games than we were before. We were drawing a lot of games previously. And we've certainly marched up the league table a little bit. Despite those defeats, we find ourselves in 5th place after 36 games. We're only in the playoffs by 1 point. We have to keep our momentum going. It's by no means nailed on that we're going to be finishing in the playoffs this season. We're still only 7 points away from automatic promotion. I think that probably is too much of a tall order, looking at the amount of games we've got left, if it actually lets me. When should we do play Bournemouth at home? Never say never if we win every game between now and then. And then, of course, an FA Trophy quarter-final. As previous FA Trophy winners, it would be nice, it would be very nice to finish this season off with a final FA Trophy win and promotion. That's got to be what we're aiming for at this point. And this turnaround of form is largely due to a change in system. We've gone back to the 4-2-3-1 that served us so well. Was it down in the Northern Premier League? I think we used a 4-2-3-1. And we've established one here at this level, and it's working really rather splendidly. We have brought in a new player to make it work. Mick Pugh is our new attacking midfielder. We did play Tilly there for a couple of games and decided, right, this system works. Now we just need a proper attacking midfielder to build it around. Mick Pugh is on loan from Colchester until the end of the season. He's 20 years old. He's got 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. He's been playing in League One for the last couple of seasons. Not regularly, but certainly been playing. He's only played a couple of games for us so far, but as you can see, he's made quite the impression in those 2 games. 2 appearances, 1 goal, averaging a 7.3. He looks like a rather decent player, and hopefully the addition of him to the midfield is just going to make everything awesome as we continue going through the rest of this season. I'm just going to switch Tilly to be an inside forward if we're going to play him over on that side today. I don't know why Past Kev didn't already have him. In fact, there's a couple of instructions here that I've got to question what Past Kev is up to, because normally we have those 2 that way round. Right. That all makes sense to me. So we've got Sivata in goal, a back 4 of Selçuk Pasala, who is he's another youngster who we brought in the summer on a non-contract, and then big clubs started sniffing around him in the January transfer window. We did lose a player or 2 to that. I can't remember who. We lost Kieran Charters-Thompson. He went to Norwich. I'm sure there was another one as well who went to a bigger club. Maybe not. Obviously, Lerick Fernandez left at the same time. But because of that, as soon as, I think it was Norwich came around sniffing for this guy as well, we just offered him a contract and he took his. So we're trying to give him a little bit more game time. Weber is still our best left back, but I'm inclined to give Pasala a little bit of game time just to get some game time into him, just to see if he's as good as apparently it seems that he is. So, Sivata in goal, a back 4 of Pasala, Sass Davis, Colley and Daly Campbell, Lerick Fernandez and Wolf as our midfield, with Tyler, Pugh and Tilly in behind Mick Powell. Mick Powell has started scoring again. Now he's got a more effective attacking system behind him. We've also got 3 very good wingers in the shape of Tyler, Tilly and Stanley. They're all playing very, very well. And Kai Brown has emerged as a bit of an option as a striker for us and did score fairly recently. Hold on, if we have a look at his recent appearances. Came off the bench against Stockport for Powell. He's been coming on for Powell quite regularly recently. As you can see, there's a big gap there where he wasn't even in the first team squad. But he's looked useful. So we've got Kai Brown as an option to come on as a striker to replace Powell if Powell doesn't play well. And I think it's a combination of the change in tactic and the fact that we now have a striker on the bench finally, which is just spurring him on to play a little bit better than he had been. He's still the second top scorer in the division. We still can't complain too much, but as we've all seen over the last 5 seasons, he's painfully inconsistent and will look like a world beater for however many games and then disappear for however many games, and it's very frustrating. Right, let's passionately say we want to win this game. We don't want to drop out of the playoffs. It's taken us a long time. We've only just got back into the playoff picture in the last match. So that shows you how long we've been floundering down in mid-table for, because it was back around the time we were doing the FA Cup run that didn't really happen this season. But we're talking back sort of October, November time. We drifted out of this top 7 and we've just kind of been hovering around in mid-table ever since. So it's not Lloyd Isgrove playing in the National League. That will upset me if it is. I don't really want to click on him because it'll make him score. Yes, L Isgrove, joy. Right, what was I saying? Oh, it's Salford with all their money. Now I understand. But yeah, we've forced our way back into the playoff picture. What we don't want to do now is drop back down out of it again, because I think that'll just ruin me. We've battled hard, we've changed the system, we've changed the personnel around a little bit, and we've finally got to the point where we look like a half decent side again. What I don't want to do now is have another season of disappointment and have to do it all over again for a 3rd year in a row in the National League, because obviously we're already going to be without Lerick Fernandez next season because he's only back here on loan, having left in January. We're unlikely to get him again next year, and it's only going to be more players who leave if we don't get promoted this season. You saw from the team selection screen before, more than half the first team squad today are wanted by other clubs. So it's going to be a difficult task keeping this team together if we don't get promoted. Right, passion didn't work. Let's try and be assertive. Let's go win the match. And we're also going to take off Tilly, because Tilly's fitness level was awful towards the end of that first half. I don't know if he picked up a knock, but he was 59% condition. Fernandez as well, very low on conditioning. But we've got Connor Stanley there on the bench, who's just an easy substitute to come on. So let's bring him on there, and hopefully, I don't really know, was Tilly's condition low before the match? Did I just not notice? Same with Fernandez. I'm not really sure. I don't really have anyone to bring on for him. The best I can do, I guess, would be bring on Proctor and change the system around a little bit, because we just don't have another central midfielder on the bench. Big ball forward, aiming for Mick Powell, doesn't get anywhere near him, but here's Tyler, who does find Powell. There are not many home shirts in this Salford half. They absolutely crowded us out there with what seemed like about 8 defenders, but now they've got the chance to counter. But Sass Davies is across to cover and tries to release Stanley on this right-hand side, but it's a bit long for him. But we are chasing down brilliantly. There's Pugh, and there's Stanley. 2 bites of the cherry for Connor Stanley, and still doesn't force it past the Salford keeper. But that was some good pressing and good work rate from the entire front 4 there. I'm impressed. Pasala now with a free kick to Sass Davies, and it's just over. We're starting to create some chances. We need to score a goal sometime soon. And again, we've got players really struggling with fitness. Fernandez we've already talked about, but Pugh's got a bit of an excuse because he's not really match fit, having just arrived yet. But we're going to bring Kai Brown on for Mick Powell. What do you want to be, Kai? You want to be a target man? I don't really like target man. You can be a pressing forward. And maybe, should we make one of these 2 attacking? Who's going to be... Let's make Connor Stanley attack him and just try and get... Should we make... I'm not going to make them both attack him. That would trouble me too much. But maybe just to add an extra attacking threat from that right-hand side with Stanley. Stanley is close to double figures for goals already this season, so I don't think it will hurt to try and get him a little bit further forward. And there is Connor Stanley, very deep, for a man who's playing an attacking instruction. Plays it forward towards, I assume that's Brown on there now. It is, and there is Brown, and it's straight at the keeper, but we've won a corner. And fingers crossed we can find a breakthrough here. I don't know where Salford are mid-table. This is a team we should be capable of beating. Stanley with the corner doesn't beat the first man, and it falls as far as Colley, who has no idea what to do with it. And that's probably for the best. Plays it all the way back to Civita. This is a weird highlight, though. Civita plays it to Sass Davies. Sass Davies forward for Brown to chase. Brown hits the post, but it's fallen to Connor Stanley. Stanley was a little bit slow to react to it and can't get the crossover. But Brown has looked very lively since coming on. And I'm hoping that there is a breakthrough in our near future. We've got to take Loic Fernandez off. He's a broken man, but I don't know what to do to get him off. We're going to have to do that. And then I guess we can't do this. We're going to put him there. I mean, he plays as a ball-playing defender, so he should be able to... Let's make him no nonsense behind him now. And, I mean, it seems silly. If we're having a half-back, let's make you more attacking. And just try and find a way through in these... What is going on here? In these final 10 minutes, let's use a shout. Let's show some passion. This is frustrating home again, where we don't seem as attacking minded. It's like managing Hamburg with 0-0. Right, Pugh plays it forward towards Brown, who's absolutely clattered. That's surely going to be a red card. It's not going to be much help for us with 2 minutes to go. But if Brown turns his man there, he's through, and it is a red card. But, I mean, what use is playing against 10 men for a minute and a half at the end of a match? It's not really much of a difference maker. I guess we can say, right, get the ball further forward then. But we've got a matter of seconds, and Salford are just keeping hold of it. They've done a number on us today. They've come here, they've defended, they've got men behind the ball. They've shown no attacking intent themselves, but they've out-defended us. I'm not happy. Hopefully we can turn the form around again against Hednesford, and we're not going to stay in this playoff picture for long if we play like that too many more times. Couple of tweaks for the Hednesford game then as I try and figure out a way to get this team to score goals again. O'Brien comes into the midfield as a more defensive option, allowing Fernandez to play slightly more attacking than he was in the last game. We're also going to give Kai Brown a start, but not up front. We're going to play him out on the wing because I'm afraid to drop Mick Powell for a big game. But, I mean, he's an accomplished player there, so he can play out on the wing. Tilly's not fit to play anyway. Stanley can start on the bench and come on as an impact player. Again, we've got Matty Wolf down on there as well to come on if we need to change this midfield around, plus Jordan Rossiter if we need to change the shape of the team entirely. But I was so confident at the start of this episode, and then we were just... I'm hoping it was just a case of Salford coming and doing a job on us. They came and defended, and we weren't smart enough to get past them. I don't think we're going to get the same as that in a cup tie, hopefully. There you go. I expect nothing but a win. Get out there and win the match. We're going down the route of assertive team talks now. This has got to be the year where we get promoted, even though this is a cup game. We want a cup run as well. I know there's not as much money, anywhere near as much money, in an FA Trophy Cup run as there is in an FA Cup run. But a day out at Wembley is always good. We're a couple of games away from that. And it would be nice to see how much our overall fan base has grown by seeing how many we take to Wembley this time round. I think the last trip to Wembley, I think we took about 3,500-4,000 people. So it would be interesting if we were to get there again, would that number increase? Because we're playing at a higher level now. We're a more established, better team. We're on the verge of the Football League. It'd be nice to think we've got 5,000 total fans. If this was happening in real life, I think I'd go, living 20 miles away from home, I think I'd head over for an FA Trophy final. I think I'd be keeping an eye on what they were up to. Right. Assertive. Should we try aggressive? I never do aggressive team talks. That's going to terrify them. What's his face? Pasala, is that his name? The left back? Yeah, he was afraid. Right, Pugh with a free kick, and it's an excellent free kick, and Powell on the rebound, just straight at the keeper. And Mick Powell, forever a frustration. I think this might be... I don't want to say it might be his final season as our first choice striker, because we're probably not going to find a better one. We've been trying to find a striker as good as him for years. But, it's frustrating relying on him. It reminds me so much of backing the Borough and Ashley Chambers last year, and when we really started to push on with Nuneaton was when we accepted the fact that Ashley Chambers was the wrong man for us. Even though he was getting 25, 30 goals a season, he wasn't doing it in a consistent way, and it was holding us back. We moved on from Ashley Chambers and charged up the leagues, and I feel like we're going to have to do a similar thing with Mick Powell. We're going to have to sacrifice a hero for the greater good, and it was painful with Ashley Chambers last year. It will be even more painful with Mick Powell because he's one of our own, and he's all-time record appearance holder, all-time record goal scorer. He's a club icon. He's the club captain. But he's only 22 and I can't do another 10 seasons of this frustration. Right, Tyler's not playing well. We'll bring Stanley on for him. Which we don't really have anyone who can go over to the left. I guess Brown's going to have to go over to that left-hand side. Brown's not playing particularly well either. We don't really have anyone else to come on. We are going to take off Fernandez and bring on Wolf in that midfield. And we're going to say, show some passion. Need a little bit of passion. There you go. They're fired up. Fired up is good. We're going to have a whole episode where we don't score a goal, aren't we? O'Brien with a free kick straight at their keeper. We've dominated both matches in this episode, and we're just failing to make that goal-scoring breakthrough. I'm going to bring on Rossiter. I said we could potentially change the shape of the team, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to bring Rossiter in. We're going to go back to that system, and we're going to tell Wolf to get further forward and get involved in that attack. And hopefully... What? Does Mick Powell... We stopped playing him as a poacher, didn't we? How long have I been playing him as a poacher for again? He started playing well when we made him an advance forward. I wonder if this was all my fault. Go back. We need a home historian. Go back through the last few episodes. How long have I been playing him as a poacher again? How, when, and why did that happen? I'm hoping it was just when we changed the system, and I haven't ruined him for too long. But I need to make a mental note to change back and play him as an advanced forward again. I'm still not happy. That was not good enough. I'm not going to show you the second leg of the FA Trophy because I can't sit through another game of not scoring any goals. So it'll be a little surprise for you in the next episode whether or not we made it through to the semi-final, and that will then dictate what match we show in the next episode. I think we're probably going to check in somewhere around here, as it looks like we are in the playoff mix. Obviously, if we do get to the FA Trophy semi-final, we'll do that as one of the games and a league game for one of the other ones. If we play the first couple of these and we're still not scoring goals and it looks like we're not going to be in the playoffs, we'll just go straight through and do the last two games of the season. But we'll be a bit flexible about it. We'll see what happens. And of course, that will be at 4 p.m. on Thursday. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.